Elden Ring has a lot of great weapons. Elden Ring also has a lot of average weapons. And amongst the beautiful sea of average weapons, none reign supreme like the dagger weapon class. Daggers can stack hits upon hits really fast, building various status effects at a rapid pace, but they also have abysmal range, and those fast hits upon hits don't really stack up when strictly talking about the raw damage. And on top of that, one of the most important mechanics of a boss fight is the hidden stance they can build up while attacking the boss, and daggers barely deal stance damage. So I think aggressively average is the perfect way to describe daggers. On their own. But in typical Elden Ring goodness, you are enabled to make any build broken, including a giga dagger build. I felt it was time these little pocket knives got their due, so I decided to see how much you can break Elden Ring using only daggers for your weapons. I chose Bandit because it just comes with a dagger with bleed already built in, and it ends up being one of the daggers of choice for the entire run. Because not only does it have bleed built in, it's also not a somber weapon, meaning it can be infused with Ash of Wars to provide additional status effects, and then it becomes a pretty standard setup for the beginning. Golden Vow, Sleep Pots for Godskins, but Sacred Blade becomes a nice grab in this run as well, as a non-somber weapon will let you melt death bosses. Then we give Greyol a good slapping and round out health and Arcane while pumping a bunch of points into Dexterity. The Arcane is to give a nice little boost to our other dagger of choice, the Reduvia. Reduvia is honestly a pretty broken weapon. Its blood loss buildup is pretty crazy, and its skill, Reduvia's Blood Blade, deals pretty decent damage and is a decent ranged option, which is hard to come by when only using daggers. Plus it's easy to get and early game. You just have to slap Nereus around, and you can even do it with one of the boys, so it's pretty free. After that, I gave Raya her necklace to get to Volcano Manor, and nabbed myself a somber 5 and 6, and bought the first 4 from Iji. But now, I needed to take a detour to progress the quest line. I had to get Millicent to Alta's Plateau, so that I could murder her. Once you hit a certain point in her quest and kill her, you get Millicent's Prosthesis, an incredibly valuable talisman to have for this run. So I let some geysers bitch slap Commander O'Neill, had Gowry make a nice little needle, and got Millicent to stab herself with it. Yeah, I always feel bad killing her. She seems chill. But I figured I would work towards more of my talismans, so I made a quick stop to High Road Cave. Almost died to a golem and got the Blue Dancer charm. At the cost of armor, this talisman gives you a nice damage boost, determined by how low your equipment load is. Now it was time for Stormveil. A +5 Reduvia and a similarly upgraded Great Knife made quick work of the 2 bosses, netting me a second talisman slot and +5 to every stat with Godric's Great Ruin. After this, I also realized that I didn't particularly have any tears that provided a huge damage boost, so I decided to kill the putrid avatar near Fort Feroth to use both of the tears that it drops for a potential stance break and getting to hold off on leveling health for a good bit longer. Radon was my second great rune of choice so that I could progress the main game and get higher upgrade smithing stones, and his general weakness to status effects made this pretty easy. A quick kill onto Godskin Noble for the +7, and my Reduvia was +9. Then, with a quick stop to get the Ritual Sword Talisman, it was time for lane go. I decided to rush right until I beat the Godskin duo. To get myself the full plus 24, and both them and Fire Giant went down without too much trouble. Fire Giant was just a bit more stally than normal. And Godskin Duo felt weird not being able to get staggers off on. But with both weapons highly upgraded, I decided it was time for the DLC. I gave Moog a slap around and got myself into the Land of Shadows to see how many bosses in the DLC would crumble underneath the weight of daggers. In expected Shadow of the Erdtree fashion, daggers really take a nerf. Boss health pools are so large, and the fast attacks of so many of the bosses make it hard to get the full value out of power stancing the daggers and really building up the status effects. But they do get the job done, just definitely not to the extreme of in the base game.